And with me going there to him that wanting to have sex with her, that's not making sure she's okay. You understand what I'm saying now? For everybody else, it ends at me admitting I want to have sex with an underage girl. It doesn't end there for me.
Well, after it only... It does and it doesn't, because when you admit that, then that's when people can help you. Then that's when you're really going to get the most out of Allie, out of your counselor, out of your probation officer, and out of me.
But how are they going to help me when I can't understand it myself? How are they going to help me understand? How are you going to help me understand why I did something I didn't want to do?
Because the fact of the matter is, Warren, is that your behaviors were someone who wanted to do those things, but maybe had reservations about getting caught.
You might be right about that.
So
I can't. That's run through my head before too.
So rather than, so it's kind of like, do you want to rob a bank with us? Well, yeah, let's rob this bank. I don't want to, and the only part of me that doesn't want to is the part that doesn't want to get caught. But yeah, I want to get this money, and yeah, I want to do this. So that's what I think went on. It wasn't so much that you didn't want to do it or didn't want to go there. It was that you didn't want to get caught, and in your mind, mistake fear of getting caught or not wanting to do it.
I know that was part of it too, not wanting to get caught. And at the same time, I still know I did not want to do it. So how do I understand that? I don't understand why I let myself do something that I knew I didn't want to do. But yeah, part of me says, well, maybe it's just because you got caught. Am I saying this because there's actually part of me that just didn't want to get caught? Or is it because people have put that in my head before?
Well, here's the thing now. Think about it. And I mean, this is true of everyone who has ever done something illegal. Mostly everyone who's ever done something illegal. Had you gone there and there had been a 13-year-old there and you guys had sex and whatnot, a couple things could have happened. You maybe could have ended up continuing to see her and then gotten caught down the road, or not have gotten caught down the road. It could have been a one-time thing, and at that point, a one-time thing.
And then I have to live with, even if I didn't get caught, I'd still have to live with what I did.
You probably
wouldn't have been any better. It wasn't so bad to understand all of this. I'm not worried at all about ever losing things. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not worried at all anymore about ever losing control like that again, because I won't allow myself to do that. Because I figured out how I wound up losing control of who I was. That was just understanding why I allowed myself to do such a terrible thing. I could have ruined that girl's life if she was real. And that bothers me so bad.
What do you think about that?
What if I actually had sex with her and got her pregnant? What about the things? She wasn't old enough to consent. Wasn't even old enough to understand. What if I had sex with her and it turned her into someone that didn't care about themselves and wound up having sex with any Joe Schmo on the street? What if she wound up getting disease from having sex with any Joe Schmo on the street? What if she never wound up having sex again because of what I would have done? All this shit bothers me. And I've got to understand everything about it. No way that I won't admit that I went there to have sex with her. Because part of me went there to have sex with her. But I've got to understand the other parts that are telling me that. Well, I went there also to make sure she was all right because she was alone. Well, that don't make sense because I went there to see if she was all right. Why the hell was I going to have sex with her? And how did I wind up going there when I knew I didn't want to? I've got to understand it all.
You crying?
No. Sniff that on. Frustrating because I know what I did was wrong, and I want to understand why I did what I did, and know how much it could have hurt. Actual person had it been an actual thing. I thank God every day that it wasn't an actual girl. You get quiet on me.
No, I'm listening. Talked a lot. I'm listening to you.
I'd rather listen to you and have your input.
Well, I've given my input. I mean, you seem to respectfully disagree with a lot of what I said, but...
No, I don't disagree with a lot of everything you said. I agree with everything you're saying. I just want to understand why I did it.
I mean, I personally think that you did want to have sex.
Part of me agrees with you, but I want to understand the other parts too. It's not just that. How could I do something that I didn't want to do?
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm hoping you can help me figure it out. I've been living with the shit for 10 years trying to figure it out.
I think you wanted to...
It's obviously my own thinking's not doing it. I need more input into it.
I mean, I think that you had a sexual motive.
You can be right. You can be right about that too. My problem is why.
Because it was the young girl who was inexperienced. And remember what I said about molding before? You were going to be able to mold her into exactly what you wanted.
I haven't thought about that for a long time.
You're going to get to mold her into exactly what it was that you wanted from a relationship and from a woman. And that's why. It's as simple as that.
I'm wondering if I intentionally set that. Now I'm wondering if I intentionally set that thought out because there might be some truth behind that.
I mean, because think about it. You know, what would you get from a 13-year-old that you wouldn't get from like a 31-year-old? I mean, most cases, you know, the 31-year-old is, she's set, she has her way of thinking, she has what she likes sexually, she has herself financially together, and she's looking for someone who can or exceed that. And you have to up your game, be with her. Whereas with a child, you know, with a 13-year-old, you know, just living in a little apartment and not really having much is all that it might take to impress him. And on top of that, have someone who is not experienced sexually, is not set in their ways and their ways of thinking, and they are able to be molded and shaped and formed into exactly what you want.
But before I was in that little apartment, I had a nice house.
Well, I mean, it's not that. It's just the fact that, you know, it, you know, and I heard in a call somewhere you said that, like, you quit your job because your boss pissed you off. Like, that wouldn't impress a lot of 31-year-olds. But a kid won't feel any differently, and she'll accept that.
You know, when all that happened, like, getting used, I just, when I look back on it now, I realize how much people just ran over. Maybe that has to do with the molding. Or you run over.
What?
Maybe that has to do with the molding part, and maybe that's why I shut it out before. Because it might have to do with the molding, because the way that we get run over. You know, this is so frustrating for me. There's more than just saying, admitting that I did it, or that I wanted to do it. And I can say that, and everybody leave me alone, but it doesn't matter if I say it if I can't understand why. I have to know why in my head. Understand it. I mean, just say it and walk around and see other people like it's nothing. I admit to, when I admit to it, I completely understand it. So I'm being honest with them. Yeah, I did it, and I did it for this reason. I have to know. I have to understand the reason too. Otherwise, I'm just being a liar, walking around saying that, admitting that I did it just to make them happy, and that doesn't make me happy.
Are you crying?
No, it's my eyes are dry.
I hear your voice squeak, and I think, well,
I don't want to be a liar about the thing. Well, and, I can admit it to a blown face, and I know I'm right when I admit it, but I'm lying to myself if I don't understand why. I don't want to just walk around being a liar to people when I can say it with no problem. But I want to understand why I did it. I want to understand everything about why I did it. Otherwise, I'm lying to them. That's why it irritates me so much about Barry. He's not right. He doesn't know me. That's why it irritates the hell out of me.
Well, Barry is good practice for me because defending you against him is practice to defending you against my parents. So it is good practice.
But this now you're understanding a lot more about what's going on in my head. Nobody knows about what's going on in my head. You're the only one. I haven't gone this far with Allie, and I haven't gone this far with the class. Anybody. I certainly haven't gone this far with Mom. I don't know if I even talk about it with Mom. Devastated her when it happened. At least now you know more about what's in my head. You understand why I can't just say it to make people happy?
It's more about you should say it to make yourself free, not make people happy. Because, I mean, you're not saying it to anybody but me. And
yeah, but I'm saying it, but I want to understand it. I know I did wrong. I know that. I had to have gone there to have sex with her. But at the same time, there's these other things that bother me. If I was just going there to check on her, why the hell did I want to have sex with her? Me not wanting to go in the first place. Why the hell did I go if I didn't want to go? That shit don't make sense to me. And did I talk to her the way I did because I was trying to mold her into... That's in my head now. Is it because of how I got treated by the others, scared me so bad that I wanted to mold somebody. Because they were what I wanted. I love you the way you are. Why the hell would I ever want to mold anybody else? You're the only one I've let this fire into my head, ever. I don't talk to people. Don't sit inside of me. Now I can bring the shit up with Allie. Fall asleep?
no, I'm here.
Are you tired?
A little.